Again, thank the anonymous sponsor of this series of Shirim, Shisha Bracha and Hatzlacha, and again mention our campaign that we're having for the Kol these days, $85 a month contribution. I'll dive in for 40 days of the Kosel for you, as passionately as I'm able to muster. And please write to me at dytravis613 at gmail.com. That's D like Daniel, Y like Yaakov, Travis, Travis 613 at gmail.com. We're talking about what the world will look like before Moshiach comes, as the Mishnah portrays it. And the Mishnah concludes about relationships, close family relationships. The Mishnah says like this. We spoke about elders being disgraced by younger people. Then it says, Ben Menuvel Av. The son will be Menavel, will literally disgrace, will make a nivel out of the Av. Bas Kama Be'ima. A daughter will get up against her mother. It seems that women who are more closer to tznius than men, they won't be menabel their mothers, right? Because their personality and makeup is not congruent to that. It's not parallel to their personalities. But they'll get up against them. Their natural meat of tznius that women have will disappear, and they'll fight against their mothers. Kala b'chamosa. The Mishnah doesn't even have to say anything. A mother-in-law, the Mishnah in Gittin tells us that a mother-in-law naturally hates her daughter-in-law. In fact, the Gemara in Shabbos brings a story of a mother-in-law who gave her daughter a certain perfume, which was flammable, so that when she lit candles, she burned up. The relationship is already tenuous, and it doesn't have to say what happened between a daughter-in-law and her mother-in-law, right? It's just will be complete chaos and havoc. Oive ish anchi beso, right? A certain individual I know told me that this is his side of the story. I'm sure the family has a different side of the story. But he told me basically like his entire family, wife and children, they just rebelled against him, right? Again, I'm not saying that this person was necessarily completely innocent, but the Mishnah says that it's going to happen. It says the members of your household will become your enemies. One of the individuals I'm davening for here 40 days at the Kosel told me, he gave me the name of his son. He said, he just thinks I'm like absolutely non-existent. I'm the worst person, ever on planet Earth. Has to be a big tzaddik, this person. So that's it. Oivi anchi beso. It's going to be a world situation where there is no honor whatsoever. There's just a breakdown. And we mentioned in the first class about the recent flash thefts in California, one of $100,000, one of $300,000, just mobs of people coming to stores and just stealing everything like a swarm of locusts. Yeah, this is a sign of the times. The more that honor becomes bereft from the world, the more that honor, which is really a sign of God's honor and presence in the world. People honor the elders, people honor Torah when there's fear of God in this world. And that's why Avraham Avinu told Avimelech, he said, Rak ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh, v'tarbuni al Torah ishti. They're going to kill me for my wife because there's no fear of God. When there's fear of God in the world, in a place, then people fear their elders, they have honor for other people, and they treat people with respect. When there's no fear of God, then there's no respect, and there's a breakdown in the world. And this is what the Mishnah is saying. The Mishnah then says, Pnei hador ke pnei hakelev. The face of the generation is the face of a dog. Right? Now, on one hand, a dog is a man's best friend. I was on the BBC 2 days ago. They said that a cat is actually best friend, but I think it's actually the dog. And Kalev, some say it means kolev, is all Labe. It's true, but a dog has a very brazen face. A dog can have a very brazen face, and the generation will be brazen. If you want to characterize the face of the generation, it will be brazenness. And this is what the Mishnah is telling us. Honor will disappear. There'll be society breakdown. People will not fear or respect Torah or their elders. And the face of the generation will be like the face of a dog. There are many, many explanations of this. Many, many. I saw one such parsha sheet at 24 different explanations. Right. One of the most interesting ones is from the Chavetz Chaim, and I believe others say that as well, is that you don't have the leader leading the dog. You have the dog leading the leader. Right. That there won't be leadership in our generation of great Torah authorities who can guide the people what to do. This is both because of Yeridas Haderos, but more because people will now accept it. I remember when there was a massive demonstration here in Eretz Yisrael. It was more than 10 years ago, I believe, that I asked Rav Sternbach, do you make the bracha of 600,000 Jews together? He said, you only make that bracha when there's one manik, one leader who everyone's listening to. He said, and certainly not me, he said. Right? People don't listen to what I have to say. The biggest proof is Moshiach's not here yet. Had people listened to Rav Moshe Sternbach and Rav Gershon Edelstein, Moshiach would be here yesterday or the day before. People are not listening really until we eliminate every speck of sinas chinam in our lives, which means not being upset with anybody no matter what they did. And if you think, well, Rabbi Travis, this is really bad, I mean that's what I mean. I mean that thing which you think is really, really bad. If you have any doubts, you can email me at DUITravis613 and I'll be the judge of that. But there's very, very few things that you're allowed to be upset with someone about. In fact, there's only one, and that is if somebody's a Russia. And says, okay, there is something called tarumos. I'm not getting into that today, but to have hatred of somebody is only if there's a Russia. And according to Rav Yonason Moliner, who from the Sefer Margolis Sayam, who is quoted by the Chazon Ish and by the Chavetz Chaim, right? Nobody is a Russia today because nobody is able to give proper tochacha. So everybody is before reproof, and therefore there's no Rishonim today, and therefore you're not allowed to hate anybody, and therefore you're not allowed to be upset with anybody. Being upset with anybody today is called sinas chinam, and if you're doing this, and I might, look, I'm not free of it, I'm trying hard. I've been through some very, very trying relationships in the past few weeks and months, and I've really been put to the test. Because, God is telling me, Rabbi Travis, put your money where your mouth is. You're talking about this, so let's see how you do. And it's not easy. I'll be the first one to say, it's not easy when you're under fire from people to remain calm, cool, and collected. But this is what Rav Moshe Sternbach is saying. This is what Rav Gershon Edelstein gave hundreds and hundreds of shirim. He asked me to proliferate, if that's the right word, maybe it's wrong, to spread this message amongst the Jewish people, and this is what stopping Moshiach from coming. Had we listened to Rav Gershon Edelstein, Moshiach would be here today. I wouldn't be sitting on this side of the Kosa. I'd be sitting on that side of the Kosa. Yeah. Or according to Rav Yisrael Reisman, it's a mile away. I don't know exactly. He has proofs from the Navi Cheskel. I have to speak to him about that. But whatever it is, we sure would not be in a state where there's no Beis HaMikdash. We would have a Beis HaMikdash. It's all about going through these difficult relationships. Yeah. Again, we'll conclude. It might be you're an older person and you're disgraced by youngers. It might be you're a Torah scholar and you're disgraced by other people. It might be you're a father and you're disgraced by your son. It might be you're a mother and you're disgraced by your daughter. It might be you're a mother-in-law and you're disgraced by your mother-in-law. It might be that the members of your household have come out against you. And it might be anybody in the generation who's treating you like a dog. Yeah, they're treating you like a dog. Whatever it might be, yeah. And then the Mishnah continues, Haben Eina Mitzbayish Mi'aviv. Right? A son is not embarrassed to do the worst transgressions possible in front of his father. Yeah. So many people have told me stories recently about how their children were acting, and It's painful. Yeah. All of this is a sign of the times that we are in Moshiach sight. Yeah. We're in a time when Mashiach will come. All. We have a great task in front of us. We have a great challenge to eliminate every single speck. I mean speck, I mean iota. If you're upset with someone, if someone stole $8 million from you, I'm sorry. You can't be upset with them. The story even goes about somebody in the Holocaust who they stole all his passports that he'd gotten from his family to get out of Europe. And his whole family died. This person stole the passport so he could get out. His whole family died, and he met this person after the Holocaust, and he was quiet. This is a great individual. This is the halacha. Yeah, you're not supposed to get upset with somebody ever. What was done by God. This person committed a grave sin, but you're not supposed to get upset with them. Getting upset is called sinas chinam. So as we look around and see the breakdown of society, we're supposed to keep quiet and just go with the flow, not to go with the flow to join them, but to just relax and say and accept this as a divine message to us, and at the same time to turn our hearts to Hashem and to recognize there'll be one or two more classes depending on how much we can get in here today. Bezrat Hashem. Again, I thank our anonymous sponsor for sponsoring these shirim in honor of our campaign. If you'd like to join it, please write to me at dytravis613@gmail.com. $85 a month. I'll dive you with the koisel. And our main tefillah is that the gula should come. And the way that happens is by wiping our hearts clean of even the smallest speck of any bad feelings on mankind.